All right, this is documentation speaking to what is no exception to the criminal prosecution and civil prosecution of Charter Communications while they are monitoring me in relevant position at the specific environment, which is a criminal act, and Charter is knowingly also engaging in that criminal conduct, also engaging in federal stalking on the venue of the internet. This is documentation of what is terrorism that Charter Communications Spectrum is engaging in while the act of terrorism via directed light is present on my ceiling, serving for what is criminal facilitation of everybody in the state, including the state that just flew over my apartment in helicopter. Spectrum is not exempted. They are directly engaging in it, and you are looking at the unmistakable pattern of conduct that remains underway and that Spectrum is knowingly engaging in and facilitating. That's why I have impossible light activity on my ceiling. Never the product of sunlight. This is, again, the blinds are closed. You have what is the light that's appearing on the ceiling through what are closed blinds, and the light source is also, let me point out, has nothing to do with the maintenance of engineered light. And even if you could see the light source, which is not possibly the sun, especially while the light source is documented maintaining presence over me in an entirely different region, such as Ontario at the Ovid Family Community Library, the entity is engaged in what is ongoing facilitation of a demand. Like you see here, this is crossing path and light activity. A method of flashing light is light activity that Spectrum is providing. And TEC, surveillance and monitoring while the people are maintaining relevant position on Alvarado. You've seen these demons with engineer light while they drive up and down Alvarado. This is massive surveillance that Spectrum is engaging in and TEC is engaging in. That's a logo that's relevant for the prosecution of the people of the state acting commercially in relevant position while you're in your environment inside of my apartment. This is the shadow of me on this side on the wall. That's the civil and criminal prosecution of that commercial actor, civil and criminal prosecution of that commercial actor. And this is my ceiling above my head. There is no exemption. There's no exception. You're looking at elements of monitoring and the people of the state and all the means whereby that government that is, again, engaging in an act of terrorism, amplifying helicopter activity, engaged in 24-hour surveillance in an unnatural environment. You also need to know that these companies serve Satan. Okay, those that are operating these vehicles with these logos on it, there's no respecter of persons, and that's exactly what they're engaged in, and that's exactly why I'm capturing what is an unnatural environment having nothing to do with sunlight. But that light source is indeed over my apartment, speaking to what the reality of their criminal conduct, what they're engaging in. They're inside of a facilitating venue in relevant position, engaging in massive surveillance with the state of California, and they're doing so also on the venue of the internet. And TEC, I'm going to prosecute. And I'm also going to prosecute Charter Communications. They're engaging in a sex offense, okay? This is relevant to what is terrorism that TEC and Spectrum are present engaging in concert with that. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. Light activity appearing on my side of my wall and on the ceiling above my head at what is 2:35 p.m. while the entity is again amplifying helicopter activity. And this is an impermissible threat relevant for what is federal prison, by the way, of those that are operating such vehicles. This whole property is already going to federal prison. The Alvarado Gardens is dealt with. You're understanding how the entity is engaging in a ceaseless pattern of conduct while they are coming onto the grounds of the property where you're acting with the state. And that's all that they're doing. Doing so while you're bearing a logo is as you clearly see, no exception to that criminal conduct. No exception whatsoever. The same exact criminal conduct is ceaselessly underway. P.O.C. By the way, Spectrum is heavily documented group stalking in an entirely different region, such as the Economy Inn in Ontario, California. Group engaging in a massive sex offense. Spectrum, in other words, is a heavily documented sex offender and terrorist, which is a matter of documentation, and I'm going to prosecute them. P.O.C.